Hey everyone, and welcome back to the next episode in the What Tank Line Should I Play First series. In the last episode, we covered tiers 3 and 4 and some of the basic necessities for staying alive in-game. The saying that I have heard from motorsport is, to finish first you have to finish, and that is something that does apply to this game. Keeping our hit points, or health, is the priority. And yes, even I need to listen to my own advice at times. Today, we're going to cover the iconic M4 Sherman. In the previous video, we discussed two types of guns. The standard caliber gun that shoots armour piercing. That's the general approach is that the standard guns shoot armour piercing. There are exceptions, but generally that's the case. And the other type of gun, which is the larger caliber, and all that does is sling high explosive rounds like you're throwing tennis balls at people. The M4 does not disappoint on both of those fronts. Fully unlocked, you'll get the higher velocity 76mm gun and also the 105mm gun. The 76 is a better choice if you want to get to grips with how to play mediums. The only time I run the 105 is if I want to have a bit of a laugh and just blast everything with high explosive. Now that we know the two setups for the M4, I think it's time that we talk about the next big change that you'll come into when you play tier 5, and that is the matchmaker. Up until tier 5, you've been playing what is known as +1, -1 matchmaking. This means that all the enemy tanks you've been coming into contact with have been one tier higher or lower than your own. At tier 5, you unlock +2, -2 matchmaking. And the same logic applies again. All enemy tanks will be no more than 2 tiers higher or lower than your own. Now, strictly speaking, the lower part doesn't apply at tier 5 because of the restrictions to tiers 3 and 4, but you get the general idea. In my opinion, you have one of two choices to make now. You can choose to believe that being 2 tiers down is a lost cause and you can complain bitterly about how unfair you think that is, or you can choose to believe that you can impact the game no matter what tier you find yourself matched against. In my opinion, it's a choice between being a fighter or being a quitter. I choose to believe that I can impact the game no matter what tier I'm fighting, and I will give it my best shot no matter what game I find myself in. With these bits out of the way, let's take a look at some gameplay. Okay, so here we are on port, and this is my preferred side of the map to spawn on because I like to head down the AB line and go to the bridge. That's where I feel most comfortable on this map. Now, the setup I've got is the 76mm, which is the higher velocity gun, and in this game what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a game where my play starts off well, I think, but at the end I get a little over ambitious and I mess up and I die. And I think that could have been avoided, so this isn't a perfect game. If you'd like to see a game where I do nail how to play this tank, I'll put a little link on the top here, on top of the screen, and you can see a game where I nail playing the 76mm. But this one, I wanted to show you this one because not every game we play is perfect. Not every game is an MVP, and it's just not accurate for me to show every game as an MVP. That's just not how the game works for us. Well, it's not how it works for me, anyway. And I think most people can associate with that. So what I've done is I've come to the bridge here because this is coming up this slope. What I'm doing here is I'm using my gun depression to stay hull down, but I can get shots on the enemy team as they come across the open space on the other side of this bridge, and I can also shoot down into the gap on the right here, and I can shoot into the gap on the left, as you saw me do earlier. Now the enemy team rather, isn't pushing up as aggressively as I thought they would. So I've pushed up the bridge a little bit just to try and get some spots, see what's out there. I'm getting targeted in return, so backing up just to make sure I'm safe. I've got the what's that? That's the T-34-88, I think it is. It's got the 88mm gun from the Tiger in it, but pushed up further along the bridge because there's very little resistance, and I'm going to make the most of my position. Getting a kill on the German TD there, staying hull down as much as I can to get shots on enemy vehicle I can. Not paying attention there, as you can see, taking a hit in return, which, you know, in hindsight that could have been avoided. Support from my team takes him out. This guy is side on. That's it. That's exactly what you want from an enemy, really, isn't it? And he's gone as well. So far, the game's pretty close, and I feel like I'm doing my bit staying alive. Now, at this point, I would say this is where I played this sensibly. I'm 2 tiers down here. I cannot go over there and brawl with that guy. I just can't. He's two tiers higher than me, so what I need to do is play it sensibly, keep him spotted for the team, and let him get distracted by other people. And put in shots where I can. Make sure that I can support my team, but not be the focus of fire. Going around that little mound there was my attempt at being involved in the fight, but not being the focus of attention. That's what it's about. In a medium, you don't want to be the focus of attention. And especially when you're 2 tiers down. If you're 2 tiers down, you really don't want to be the focus of attention because you're the easy target. So making yourself a difficult target is ideal. And putting shots in on the tracks, or just, simply spotting the enemy. You can do that 2 tiers down. You can just spot them and get the spotting assist. So if you can't damage them directly, go for their tracks, get the tracking assist, keep them lit up by proxy spotting them from the other side of a mound, for example. Do what you can in any battle you find yourself in. That's my approach. That's the way I try to play it. Now, it doesn't work out all the time, but for the most part, that's how I try to play. All I can see there is that guy's tracks. I think I put a shot in here. Yeah. And he's gone. Yeah, all I could see was his tracks, Put a shot in. Maybe I hit him, maybe I don't. Now, at this point, this is where my... what could you call it? My cautious gameplay turns into overly confident gameplay. I'm on 50% health, and I'm 2 tiers down, and I've seen the red square. Yep. It happened to me in this game. I saw the red square, and I thought, that's it. I'm going for the red square. And that's when I spot an almost full health Tiger 131. So now I've gone from hunting arty mode to, right, how can I avoid getting shot by a 131? What I want to do now is, what I'm trying to do is fall back to the rest of my team so that I'm not the focus of attention. Arty misses his shot. I get hit in the back by the Tiger and then taken out by the T-20, who was the opposite end of the road. So what should I have done there? Well, I shouldn't have gone for the red square. I shouldn't have been as bold as I was there. We have a heavy, this KV1, who was back on the road. Ideally, I don't know if it would have helped or if it would have worked, but ideally we should have worked together, stuck together, further back to, try and support the team, try and support each other and get a win. But that's just not how it worked out that game, so there you go. That's what happens when a game goes wrong. But let's have a look at a game that goes right. Now, we're on El Haluf. And I'm using the 105. When I loaded into this game, I didn't realise I was 2 tiers down. All I thought about was bollocks. I'm in a massive open map, and I have a derp gun. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do? This is gonna be a challenge. So, again, on El Haluf, what I've done is I've come to my favourite area to play. This bush here on the J line. So I'm just trying to read the mini map there. On the J line, that's where I like to go whenever I'm playing El Haluf, and I'm on this spawn because you've got the concealment of the bush, and you can get some very good shots in on the team in the valley while staying hidden. And you know, any light tank that's down there, you can support them. Now, at the moment, I'm hiding because I know that there was a lot of enemy attention down that way, and I didn't want to expose myself unnecessarily. So playing cautiously, trying to lob shots in across the valley here, which is, you know, it's difficult to hit long range shots like that anyway, and then playing with a high explosive 105 is, well, any shots I put in across the valley here, you'll see what I mean about, you know, throwing a tennis ball. You pull the trigger and you can watch it fly through the air. I think at this point in this game, I'm starting to realise that there are too many tanks here on this area, and I drive past the T-29 there, and in the game it clocked in my head, I'm 2 tiers down. I hadn't noticed until now. We've got our entire team is in the south area, and I'm thinking, okay, the enemy team is going to come straight down the one line, so I need to put myself in a position where I can return fire on anyone coming down the one line. So, positioning myself just on this ridge with this concealment. Again, now that I know I'm 2 tiers down, it's even more important for me to stick to concealment, because again, anyone that sees me could be 2 tiers higher and do, I don't know, like you say, the T-29 for example does 350 alpha, I think it is. There's a tennis ball shot for you. Pull the trigger, see it flying in, up and down. But anyway, yeah, you've got tier 7 heavy can almost one bang you at tier 5, so you have to be very, very cautious here. Again, another shot lobbing its way in. I think I've only got 1 penetration at this point, or maybe it's 2, I'm not sure. But again, sticking to the concealment. I've got buildings in the TD on my left there. There's buildings in between myself and him, and I'm looking for the T-25 that was on the right side. So I've got concealment between where he was and where I am. Okay, my thought process here is I need more concealment. Knock the tree down to create more concealment. This gives me a wider area to maneuver on this ridge while staying in concealment, which is important because these guys up here are 1 tier higher, 2 tiers higher. They're higher than I am, so I need every advantage I can get. And as you saw there, I couldn't see him, but I still pulled the trigger and I still hit him. Don't be afraid to take a blind shot. If they've just been unspotted, still pull the trigger because you can still get the penetration. Patiently waiting again for him to come back out of, or to become spotted again. The T-25/2 doesn't have much turret armour, so I'm hoping that my shots will hit higher than I'm aiming, because they're lob shots, so I'm hoping the shot will come up and then down on him. What I did there, I've switched my ammunition type because I've realised that not only was I not doing great damage to the T-25, there's an IS over there. So I have switched to what they call gold ammo now, or premium ammo. This has higher penetration and the same alpha, potential alpha. The reason I've switched at this point is because the game is very, very close. They're very close to our cap, and I need to be of use in this game. I need to make an impact in this game. I don't think tracking or spotting assist is going to be enough now. I need to be a very, very active participant in this game. So again, just waiting patiently in the concealment that I've set up for myself. Patience is something that has taken me a while to develop, I suppose is what you could call it, because it's very easy to think I'm just going to run in and bam, bam, bam with my gun. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the TD to come up and spot this guy. Nice shot goes in his side. Back up for the reload. He is occupied by the red square. Trying to aim the shot there at his lower plate, but because of the angle, I hit his top plate, or I hit him straight in the nose of his tank and just didn't go through. At this point, I was a little confused. I don't know why he decided to turn around for the TD. Maybe he thought M4 was not a big deal. But turns out I am a big deal. I think if the IS had focused me, he'd have to drive up the hill. Our TD would have shot him in the back. If he did what he did, and then I shot him in the back. So either way, he got himself in a bit of a pinch and paid the price for it. Only RT left now. I'm flying down the hill just to get the wind in my hair, you know, as you do. I know I'm not going to get to the last artillery. And I think that's our teammate calling for help. I am on my way, but yes, not the fastest machine. So there we have a bottom tier M4 105 game. Yeah, I tell him I'm on my way. Yeah, there we go, on my way. From memory, I think the heavy at the top actually gets the kill, because myself and the TD are nowhere near. But this game demonstrates not only the usefulness of sticking to concealment, but it also demonstrates the necessary need to switch ammo types at the right time. Now, yeah, you're going to have people that spam gold all the time, but that's not necessary. The game's over. We won. That heavy got the kill on Artie. And there we are. MVP. Bottom tier. That's a great example, in my opinion, of how being bottom tier doesn't mean it's a lost cause. You can impact the game no matter where you find yourself. Alright, well that's about it for this one, guys. The next episode will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. I hope you found this one helpful. I hope you're all still keeping safe, and I will see you out there.